Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Free For All. I'm one of your hosts.
Day two.
Oh, I wanted to do it.
You gotta keep
Josh
going,
Barnett.
man.
Alongside that asshole.
Yo!
This other asshole right here.
Hello.
And the new guy.
Wicka wicka.
That would be Trey Elliott, Chuck Nally, and Andrew Boone.
Wicka.
Time for some video game news. I don't care about your weeks. I asked about that on the last show. Stay tuned to the past for that.
Fuck your weeks.
News.
Starting off with some...
I can't say that out loud.
Sorry,
but that is the
visual-
weirdest.
That is not a movie I'm going to
Visual
watch.
aesthetic.
Not a movie I'm going to watch. And let me do this dynamite segue into some more serious news here.
That was dynamite.
Thanks.
Starting off with some news that nobody really wants to talk about, unfortunately, but about 2.5 weeks ago at this point now, at a Madden tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, that was broadcasting live on Twitch at the time, there was another mass shooting, active shooting incident, this time involving an actual video game tournament. 2 of the competitors, it was Eli Clayton and Taylor Robertson, both unfortunately died. 12 other people were left wounded at the scene. There's video that was shared that people got to see in terms of the moments that it happened.
That's just terrifying,
Hey, man,
man.
dude, I wish I hadn't watched that video. And I know that it was one of those things where it was like, you just share it and move on and everything else. And I mean, I hadn't known what was coming, but it's just terrifying to think of.
So we're at a point now, and maybe I'm just at a point now, I should say, where... So I went and saw Aziz Ansari this past weekend. I should have brought that up in the last episode, but he was in Chattanooga Saturday night. Me and Brittany and Tori went to see him. Fucking fantastic show, but there was a point where a guy, basically Aziz was like kind of giving a lady in the audience shit, and some dude from like the balcony was like screaming the word racist at her, which the bit was that she was kind of racist. He was, basically calling her Becky. But like obviously Aziz did not need this dude's help to make that point. And anyways, after that, like some like people like were standing up and like there was some commotion over there, and I literally like for a good 2 minutes was like, oh fuck, like what if?
I mean,
Like, and just that I even had that thought of what if like someone has a gun here, like we're fucking fish in a barrel right now.
and I hate to admit it, but it actually does go through my mind every time we go to like a midnight release movie. The situation where it's hundreds of people all packed in. The Dark Knight Rises comes to mind, and like I legitimately like look at the exits occasionally, and I'm like, I'm having fun with everybody and kind of putting it out of my mind, but it's an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in nowadays, in which you have to be aware and prepared for these kinds of scenarios. And this is really the first one involving video games in any way. It was incredibly traumatizing to watch the video. I do not suggest anybody who hasn't seen it at this point not search it out.
Still up.
I mean,
it's the internet. It's somewhere.
You can get it. You can even see the laser pointer at one point go across the
Twitch
chest of
took
one
it
of the
down,
Man, fuck
but it's
that
on
shit.
all the other websites.
Yeah, I mean, and these were like young guys. Like one of them was a local Jacksonville like high school football kid. Like he had played when he was in school and decided to just go try and do the professional gamer route. And I remember seeing tweets of people like the organizers of the event basically saying, "Hey, we need checks on all these people. Like these are the people who haven't checked in to tell us that they're okay." And 2 of these guys were the ones that died. And there's been a ton of stuff that comes out after this. One of the victims, somebody who was shot and wounded, is suing the event organizers and EA and the barcade or whatever where it was being held at, which in my opinion just doesn't help anything. EA came out
Didn't
and
have anything to do with those people.
No,
that guy just wants money.
Yeah, EA came out and already has like not only did they immediately cancel the remaining tournament scheduled dates. They haven't said anything what they're going to do about their Madden Classic Championship, but as of now, at least the remaining qualifiers are not going on currently. They also created a fund and donated $1 or $2 million to the surviving families and victims. Therefore, like they held a charity stream with people playing Madden. Greg Miller from Kinda Funny was there. People well known within the Madden community were there. Like they have been doing everything they possibly can. And
they've handled it about as well as you can given the situation.
And you only have to look into literally 24 hours earlier. I don't know if many people even knew this, but there was a shooting at a high school football game in Jacksonville as well. Initially,
Man.
my thought was this was somehow related to that, like it was either gang related and retaliation or
Yeah.
something along those lines. But I mean, you can't look at it unless you want metal detectors on every single building that we live in now. There's no way to properly prepare for this. There are more measures that could be taken, and absolutely the event organizers don't need to be taken to task for that, but need to look more seriously. Apparently, it's not the best mall that they were at, but this is definitely a video game hub type location. Like it was a barcade essentially.
Yeah, the fact that you are no longer able to feel safe in something as innocent as a movie theater or just a shopping mall is just, I mean, it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I thought about it at the Tennessee game. Like there are literally
It comes to my mind all the time.
people there, and I
Like
mean,
what happened if
we were standing out at Main Street Over when they do the march with the marching band and the cheerleaders and everything else, and I'm just like, hey, there are literally thousands of people all packed into one street, and all it takes is one crazy human being who has
And-
access to a weapon that he shouldn't, in my opinion.
Especially at a Tennessee game,
Yeah.
most likely, like probably well over 50% of the people in that crowd own a weapon of some sort, own a gun of some sort. Obviously, not that they would, most of them, ever use it in that scenario, but just how readily available the equipment is to
I mean,
cause that kind of incident.
the last census report is there's enough guns in America for every man, woman, and child.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Is a scary statistic, and I mean we
That's
don't
just in Ringgold.
Polk County, sir. We don't get political really on this show. Sometimes we do like potlucks.
Sometimes I
and things
try
like
to
that
make
where
us-
where we have some fun political topics, but like I mean,
Evan makes us. But he's not here.
I don't
Impeach
know,
Trump,
and I'm
but-
probably I would probably be the most hardcore anti-gun person here. Like I don't think they have a reason for existing at all. I don't understand why anybody else's desire to uphold an amendment that literally, first of all, an amendment is the alteration of a document to begin with, but secondly, has no relevant meaning to today's society, why that has to be a thing. But before getting into that, like it's a very sad world that we live in, and we really just want to say that obviously our thoughts and our prayers for those of us are with the families and victims. And I hate that we have to talk about this and the next story, which sadly is relatable to this as well from today. I don't know if anybody else saw this.
I did not.
Dr. Disrespect, who is probably
I watched this a little while ago.
yeah, top 3 or top 4 streamer out there, really made his name in PUBG and won Trending Gamer at the Game Awards this past year.
Okay.
Guy ran into controversy because he was cheating on his wife, things like that.
Yep.
Was streaming yesterday, or was streaming today. I think it was the Call of Duty Black Ops 4, their blackout
Gotcha.
mode or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Suddenly, abruptly left his stream, went dead or went silent for 2 to 3 minutes, and came back. No wig on, no glasses, none of his persona or whatever. And was like,
He was
"Guys,
he was
I'm
out of
sorry."
character. He just
Yeah, he's like, guys, I'm sorry, I've got to end the stream. Somebody just shot at my house. This is the second day in a row. Yesterday they missed, but today they shot out my fucking window. Basically, like this is like.
and then he says,
the
I
fuck,
gotta
man?
call the
Yeah.
cops. It's just trolls and weirdos and idiots on the internet.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
feel like
stupid.
you upgrade from a troll when you're
Yeah, I mean,
shooting at somebody's house.
you're
There-
familiar with the
there's-
term
yeah.
swatting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
swatting is
Those
different.
motherfuckers should be executed. God damn it. It makes me so mad, especially after last year, that story where that kid actually was killed by
Yeah,
a
because
SWAT team.
Yeah, because
they thought he was a threat, and obviously he was just
And
Yeah,
they
that
some
committed-
idiot
shit's
on the
fucking
internet.
ridiculous.
Yeah, God,
But yeah, I mean, we just. I don't know. I
just be a good
it's
person.
screaming into the void about the things that could and could not be done, and we are definitely not the experts to be able to talk about it. But I think that everybody,
I am.
I think everybody has a voice and a right to discuss this civilly. Hopefully, people don't take to heart too much what we say in terms of wanting to get into arguments with it. But I think dialogue is always needed and always good.
Politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the world we live in, and it's probably the most important.
Who wants to
time for
play
politics
Racehorse or
in a very
Rapper?
long time.
I'm
I'm
always
gonna go
down
with
for Racehorse or
political POW.
Hockey player.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's scary to think that we put ourselves out there as well, and we don't have anywhere near the following that a Dr. Disrespect does. But really, all it takes is somebody who is easily traceable enough. Like people know his real name, people know our real names, and it's not hard to find people nowadays with the internet, and an unhinged person who has
People do
too much
anything for
access.
attention. It's just a star for
Yeah.
attention.
And that's also why we won't ever mention, at least as far as the show I'm running, the name of any shooter, any active shooter
Oh,
in any
fuck
way.
yeah.
Like,
Except
that
for
person-
Mark Wahlberg.
well, yeah, but
Or
Wow.
and
what else can you do? Sir?
Ron
You've
Felipe.
got to.
Ron Felipe count?
No.
Oh, okay, I tried.
Yes. Segueing into slightly more happy news, Trey, you can talk more expertly about this.
Yeah.
The Xbox All Access Pass
Yeah.
or program.
So
We talked a little bit about this last week in the banter section, but now as a news story, Microsoft introduced the All Access, which had been rumored for a while, which is a pretty cool way to get a hold of an Xbox.
yeah, so there's an option with an S and an option with an X. The S is
So options or options?
what?
Options
Oh,
or
Jesus.
auctions?
Wow. The
Options.
the S model
That just sank
is
in a little bit, yeah.
yeah, it did. The S model is $22. It comes with the system, 2 years of Game Pass and 2 years of Live. The X is $35 a month with the same 2 years of both. The S in particular saves you like $160 overall, and obviously you're interest free paying it over 2 years. Whereas the X, it only saves you like $20, but again, still interest free over 2 years. So
I mean, yeah, if I could pay
That's
$35 a month for an Xbox One X instead of having to
Yeah.
spend $500 up front,
um,
and I get Game Pass, and I'm already a Live member, so
Yeah,
take
the-
away that $60.
the deal's fucking awesome. For sure. I will say downsides to it. It's only available currently in Microsoft stores, which there are definitely not a ton of.
You're financing, you
um,
said, through Dell, right?
Yeah,
Your Dell
financing
Preferred
through Dell
account?
Preferred account. And it's literally a line of credit. So like I got approved for a giant line of credit and then only put like 700 something bucks on it for the Xbox.
Why didn't you put 2 on there, and I would have paid you $70 a month?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Don't do that.
The other big thing is definitely make sure that you talk to someone at an actual store before you go. The cards, they have to have specific cards to do the deal and get the SKUs, and they have to have those to do the 24 months of interest-free financing,
I wonder-
and they did not when I went, so I
wonder
kind of
why
had
it
to
is that
rearrange.
way. Like, we live in a digital age, right? Like, if they
Yeah,
had
it's
the
just
systems,
when it comes to financing, it's
Also,
tough. It's all done again through
a
another
lot
company.
of that has to do with tracking and whatnot too. It's a lot easier
Yeah.
to track a specific
So,
SKU than it is a
any-
specific deal.
Yeah, any Dell Preferred account, if you spend over, I think it's $750, you can do a year of interest free, which is what I ended up doing, and I just did the Xbox and a year of Game Pass and a year of Live. But if they have those in, you get the 2 years. So it's definitely a really good deal. Just like
It's
I said,
about
make
the
sure
same,
you're.
though. 70 for a year or 35 for
Oh,
two.
it's the exact same amount of money. It's just a matter of, well, I guess I'm paying technically an extra $20 plus. I have to pay it all. I have to pay double the amount of monthly payments essentially.
yeah,
Which not a
But
huge
you'll
deal
have
for
it
me,
paid
but-
off in half the time, so it works.
Yeah.
I would rather have the option to pay early than be forced into a double payment, but it's still not a bad deal either way.
And,
That's-
and again,
that's
they
700
only do
credit
that
score.
because they were out of the
That's right.
cards. So if you go and they have the cards, you wouldn't have to deal with that.
Now,
but
clearly, a 700 credit score is still not
Did
good enough.
that- yeah,
for
did
interest
they
for
check credit?
financing.
All the doors.
Oh,
It is why I know I could not get approved for this Xbox deal had I decided to try it at Knoxville this weekend, but I really want to.
Game Pass is so worth it.
It's
So
the
Trey-
X
I
for
canceled
me.
my
Like, I've got a
Forza
4K
Horizon 4.
TV.
You went with the X.
thing.
You went with the X.
Yeah, I
right?
did the X.
Cool.
I mean, that game right there is $60.
Yeah. I am still getting the car pass and the VIP pass, but I was gonna have to buy 2 copies of the game, one for me,
You
one
want to get
for
State of
Lane.
Decay? I'll play with you. Boo never wants to play.
Maybe.
That is
I'm
incorrect.
not committing to anything in public.
That is
Wait
incorrect.
till we're in
He
private.
doesn't want to incriminate himself in terms of a State of Decay player.
Trey,
He
I'm
also
ready.
hated the first one.
The first one sucked. So many balls.
Maybe it's because you didn't play with the right, other ball handler.
Is it more than 2 people?
That
Let's
was
all
a
play it.
terrible joke,
Nah, it's
even
2.
for you.
You can hear me do my patented screws.
No one knows what that means but me.
Yeah, what
Screw
just
it.
happened?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Anyways,
Alright.
all access
You know
is
what?
pretty
My
cool if
fault.
you can find it.
All right, cool. All right, then. Moving on. TGS is happening or about to happen, and like a little bit of news came out of there. Not a whole lot that's relevant to us, but I did want to mention this because I thought it was pretty cool. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is being remastered for Switch and PlayStation 4. Probably, Chuck, you might remember this game.
What happened?
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
I remember
Yes.
it.
Do you?
Yeah.
It was a GameCube game. It was
Yeah, played
like
it.
back in the era where Nintendo was getting shit on by Square Enix or Square at that time, and
Ooh.
one of the very first times that they actually kind of reached across and were willing to give something to Nintendo in terms of a game was a Final Fantasy game that everybody was excited to come back to Nintendo, but it was this weird co-op game in which one person was dedicated to hold this bucket of light that was like a weird area that your character could move around in and fight in. Is an interesting mechanic, but
Didn't they make a sequel to this on the Wii?
there may have been a Crystal Chronicles 2. I don't remember.
I might be thinking of a different Final Fantasy game, but anyway.
Either way, like, it's cool that it's coming out as a remaster now, probably almost 20 years later. It's kind of developed a cult following. At the time, people really hated it because it was like this chibi, cutesy art style that didn't really fit with what they were doing with Final Fantasy 7 or 8 or 10 or any of those, like, at the time. But maybe they did make a 2.
Nope.
Nope, just the one?
All right, I must be thinking of some other Final Fantasy game on the Wii.
I'm on it.
It had like purple on the cover. I can't remember the name of it though.
A Wii game that might have purple. Was it white?
Purple
was there
rain?
white?
No,
casing
no
somewhere?
white, no white.
Okay. You don't see colors.
I don't.
By the way, yeah, that is coming out. Also news out of TGS.
Oh shit! There was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: Echoes of Time.
Okay,
Ooh.
it has purple on the cover, doesn't it?
I'm on it.
Vindicate me, damn it!
I mean, it's purple-ish. There's a lot of blue too.
I mean, it's a close
Blue and
cousin.
purple are the same fucking color anyway.
He got the cover wet, so it looked purple.
What else happened at TGS, Josh?
Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are getting special edition Switch bundles.
Yeah, that looks cool.
It does look really cool.
It does look cool. It's got the yellow and green
What?
Joy-Con for Pikachu and Eevee.
No.
Brown?
Now I know about peanut butter.
Holy shit!
What?
What color is it?
It's brown.
God damn it!
Did you not know Eevee was brown? You thought it was green?
I don't know colors.
Oh my god!
Are you colorblind, Josh?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm too.
They made fun of me.
Green and gray, I get mixed up.
Time out. What color is peanut butter?
Brown.
I still don't know if that's right or not.
You're just an idiot.
I don't know if it's right.
Eevee and peanut butter, both green.
Just shut the fuck up.
You thought peanut butter was green?
Shut
His
up.
whole life.
So did my brother.
What an idiot! Gif.
That goes together like Eevee and peanut butter.
Anyway, they've got the yellow and brown Joy-Con. There's a.
It's green, you idiot.
Is it?
There is like silhouette prints on the back of the Switch. This is the first time that it's more than just Joy-Con colors for a Switch bundle, which I think
Yeah,
is
the
cool.
dock is actually done too.
The dock has Pikachu and Eevee on it as well. Like, it's cool and it makes total sense because these games are going to be massive.
Yeah, I have them pre-ordered.
For them. It's what, $299.99 for the bundle. You
Yeah,
got
not
game
the bundle.
pre-ordered.
They have the game. Yeah, pre-ordered.
This game made me get back into playing Pokemon Go, which I have been for quite a while.
I'm not there yet, but
No, yeah.
I mean, the ability, because you can actually transfer the Pokemon you found into the Poke Park, and then you can catch them and get, like...
I might
variations
cancel
within
my
the game.
pre-order on this game.
I mean, it's a
Wow.
Pokemon game.
That turns.
I know, but I didn't realize it was that tied in
Way
together.
to
Like,
sell,
I'm not gonna, I don't play.
That was amazing.
You realize that is an integrated feature.
Josh
it is
is
not
on a
the
high,
feature.
and
This
Trey
is still a
just-
remake of Yellow.
Okay.
But you could also, wait for the 2019 game, which will be the
Oh,
more
man.
like.
I'm
straightforward
definitely
Pokemon
getting
game.
that. Yeah.
Either way,
So incredible.
Jesus. Let's go into the rock block of all the Gamescom news to close this out, because there's a decent amount of interesting things happening that came out of Gamescom a couple weeks ago. First and foremost, Saints Row 3 is coming to the Switch,
Really?
That's interesting.
right?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's the
It's also
console of
Saints Row the
choice.
Third.
Not
Yeah,
Sa-
that-
you're right. Saints Row
that
the
seems-
Third.
Wow. Trey was like legit offended.
Indeed,
I mean,
he
get your
was.
shit together,
He's gonna
Josh.
cancel his pre-order.
No Get Out of Hell, no Saints Row 4, which it was called. Just Saints Row the Third for the Switch. Which could be cool, I guess. Like, I mean, a GTA style, like, open world, obviously way over the top. Game that you could play portable. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Not
Pass.
not my favorite
I
thing in
mean,
the world.
I liked that game a whole fucking lot, but yeah, I don't want to play it again on the Switch. But I'm sure there's somebody out there who hasn't played it that
Pass.
will.
Okay.
Nope.
Easy port.
The comic app Inky Pen is also coming to Switch.
What's that?
What's that?
It's a comics reader. Like, I don't think it has Marvel and DC stuff, so it's more like independent comic books. But it's kind of cool
Inky
for an
Pants?
idea of a different app on Switch, used
Yeah.
other than games. But yeah, it is a comic reader. It's basically like Comixology or something like that. I think it does guided viewing and things, but specifically for Switch. Or
If I could get a Marvel app on my Switch, that'd be pretty
it'd be
legit.
pretty cool, right? To have to not bring as many things. Like, you don't need your iPad and your Switch and everything
Yeah.
else.
I mean, you can just look at it on your phone.
Yeah, I can't read comics on my phone.
It's too tiny, man. I'm with
That's
Josh
what
on
she
this.
said.
There's no.
I don't like it, but I am.
I mean, a Switch isn't that much bigger than a phone.
It's at least 2 phones, maybe 3.
No.
It's
No.
definitely 2 phones.
Who's
The
phones?
Switch?
2 of my phones, probably
It's
3.
like a 7
No,
and
it's
a
like
half-
4. It's a
like
quad phone.
A
It
7
is
and a half
not
inch.
a quad phone. The entire Switch, including the controllers, is this big.
Quad phone.
For those at home, he's holding his hands out.
About maybe 12 inches.
About the size
That's
of.
what she
Never
said.
mind.
Yeah, right.
Twice.
Would you say rice dick?
All right, moving on from this wonderful conversation. The Hunt Showdown is coming to Xbox. You guys remember that game at all?
What's that?
It was from last year's E3 and Gamescom. It's like the Evolve meets Battle Royale,
Ooh.
like the Bayou,
What's it called?
The Hunt Showdown.
Oh.
It's like it's like a backwater, like New Orleans swamp. You're fighting like giant monsters, but it's also like 100 versus 100 v 100 type thing. It's been out on PC, or at least in early access for a while. It had a really impressive
Yeah, I remember
trailer.
this. I remember this.
Yeah, so it's gotten officially announced as being released for Xbox as well. It had a really interesting mechanic. I think it's like character permadeath. So if you ever die in the game, if I recall correctly, you have to start your character and progression over.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I think. Don't quote me on that yet, but it
I
looks
put
really
a lot
cool.
of thought in my character
Characters?
creation. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Indeed. But it's cool that that game is coming. I don't know. I know everyone was really excited for it, so it might be one worth taking a look at.
Oh, Hunt Showdown? Yeah, it's already been released on Steam, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's getting decent reviews, according to the Steam Crow.
I'm pretty sure you already said stuff like that, yeah?
I wasn't going to tell him. Just let
Okay.
him do what he's doing.
My
over there.
bad, my bad.
Don't worry about it. Diablo 3 is coming to Switch. I actually think this is really cool, and hopefully it opens up more avenues for Blizzard games on the Switch in the future. I think they would be crazy to not find a way to make Overwatch work on the Switch.
They need to make everything work on the Switch, including new release games.
I agree. Yes, they're getting a lot of ports, but Nintendo is also doing a good job of getting their own games out there, and third parties are not—they're not a thing of the past, or they're not invisible on the Switch this go around.
No. You're right. It's a lot better than it has been in the past. Not
Yeah.
just like pure shovelware too on the Wii, but
And
like
they're-
actual content.
Their indie support is massive, and like I really want to play that game, The Messenger. Have you seen that thing? It just released. It was one of the recent showcase games from their direct for independent games. It's an 8-bit and 16-bit style Ninja Gaiden game. Basically,
Like
there's
Xbox Ninja Gaiden or
No,
like Super
like
Nintendo.
NES Ninja Gaiden.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, not
I'm
8-bit.
done with hard games, man.
But yeah, so like that game there's a time travel mechanic, and basically you can go through each level in either 8-bit or 16-bit, and the further in the future you are, you're 16-bit versus 8-bit, and the worlds change and things like that. Like
That's pretty spectacular.
it's really
That's on
really
the
cool
Switch?
sounding. Yeah. The Messenger.
Damn it.
What?
Every time you talk about like indie Switch games, I go fucking buy one. Knock it off.
You're welcome.
No.
What else we got? Oh, Ori did show off. Ori and the Will of the Wisps did show off a time trials type mode called Spirit Trials. That apparently will be basically races between friends. You can spectate and see how some of the best time trial type levels have gone, but there appears to be like in-game rewards for it. They didn't really go super in depth with it yet, probably because that game is probably middle of the year next year, and they'll do a little bit more blowout in the beginning of the year. But it's cool to see more than just your standard Metroidvania like progression story in that game, and them adding more onto it as they are making the sequel.
Is anyone else
Yeah,
hearing
sorry, I
Josh
was-
say moron?
I mean, usually in my head.
You said more on that, but you say it together.
More on that.
Stay tuned in the
Craig.
future.
I'm trying not to be offended right now.
I do look at you every time I say it, Chuck.
Say what?
More on that.
You motherfucker.
Take that, bitch.
Shit
Shenmue
just got
3
aggressive.
got a release date and a new trailer.
Those fucking liars. That is never coming out.
A new trailer that doesn't look as comical as it did the first time we saw it a year ago.
It's coming out in like 2 weeks.
No, it's coming out in 2019.
Oh, no, I missed the
It's coming
year.
out August 27th, 2019. Did
Numbers
anybody
are
else watch
hard.
that trailer from last year?
Yes.
The one they released where the faces didn't move?
Yes.
And they had the hilariously bad expressions?
Yes.
My God, that game
It was a
gonna
Dreamcast
suck.
port.
That game was going to suck so
without
bad.
changing the graphics at all.
Also, Shenmue was not good.
It was okay. It was good for a Dreamcast game, but people are putting some sort of reverence on this that, like, I just don't.
It's
fucking
not The
get.
Last Guardian. I wanted that
What's
game.
the next?
I wanted that game to be good.
More.
It
on
wasn't.
that?
You did not get what you wanted.
No, yeah, it was definitely not a
Bird
game
dog
worth
on bird
finishing.
dog.
Fuck that bird dog. DMC, Devil May Cry 5, got a release date as well, coming out March 8th. Just a sweet 2 weeks after every game ever releases on February 22nd.
Gameageddon.
And don't worry, it's only another 2 weeks or so until Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, also got its release date, and a pretty cool looking collector's edition as well. I'm probably the only person here who's going to play that.
Yes.
I'll borrow yours.
Okay, it's going to be hard.
Trey?
It must be Chuck's birthday.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Finally.
a difficult game. It's
Oh.
Dark
Nah.
Souls. It's Bloodborne, but with like more action-based combat. Same developer though. Same
Pass.
director.
I mean,
From
I'll try
software.
it for free, but
there
what
you
are
go.
doing?
Butt itches. All right.
And
Why are you touching me while you're scratching your ass?
I can think of no better way to end our
Just the
news
cheek.
segment in our second show of the week than butt itches and you're touching me while scratching your ass. Thank you guys
Fair
so much
point.
for tuning
That
in to
butt.
Free for All, your source once again for all things geek. And make sure you tune in to episode 3 for what we've been playing. Which spoilers is a whole lot of that web slinger.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Why
That's
are you
enough.
singing it like that?